What's up guys, FFXIV here. Today we're going to explain a little bit about the classes, because there are a ton and you can be every single one of them and you can switch to them outside of dungeons, trials, raids, etc. So today we're just going to talk about each of the classes. We're going to list them off and we're going to talk about the roles, exactly what roles each class plays. We'll do a more in-depth video of each and every single class later on, but not today. So for now we're going to talk about the tanks. There's the Paladin, the Dark Knight, the Gunbreaker, and the Warrior. These are all four of the tank classes. Tanks are in charge of making sure that all the enemies are attacking them. So if you are a tank, you want to make sure that you're using AoEs like this one to attack as many enemies as you can so they're attacking you. You don't want your party members to end up getting hurt. So your job is to make sure all the enemies hate you. Next is our healers. So for starters, there's three of them. We have the White Mage, the Scholar, and the Astrologian. Each healer has its own unique thing going on for it. It's really based on preference, and it's the same with all the tanks and all the DPS. It's all about what you want to do and how you want to play the game. Healers are in charge of making sure that all the party members stay alive, and if they are downed, that they are revived. You want to make sure that you're keeping your party members safe from harm, and you want to make sure that your tank stays alive, because your tank is constantly taking damage. You want to make sure they're getting the heals that they need. Otherwise, they'll end up dying, and it could result in the entire party dying as well. Next is your DPS. First we're going to talk about the melee DPS. There's the Monk, the Samurai, the Ninja, and the Dragoon. The Dragoon is your spear wielder. Each of the melee classes are in charge of making sure that they do as much damage to the enemy as fast as possible. So all the DPS are in charge of dealing a high amount of damage and avoiding enemy attacks. So there's three types of DPS. There's melee, ranged, and magic. The melee, as I listed before, are your Monk, your Samurai, your Dragoon, and your Ninja. The ranged are your Machinist, your Dancer, and your Bard. And they attack from a distance, and they usually stay out of the way for the most part. Your casters are your Summoner, your Black Mage, and your Red Mage. They have a similar role to the ranged ones, as staying away from the usual battle attacks. You want to make sure that you aren't moving during your cast times, because they will interrupt. If you move while you're trying to cast a spell, it will interrupt the spell and you will have to restart it. So you want to make sure your spell actually goes off, or else you won't do much damage. That pretty much covers all the classes. Those are the battle classes known as the Disciples of War and Magic. The only other classes that there are is the Blue Mage, which is a side class that can't go into dungeons, so this is more like a fan service class. This class can learn the enemy's moves and their skills and then use them in battle. For example, the Morble's Bad Breath. The only other classes that there are is your Crafters and Gatherers, known as your Disciples of the Hand and your Disciples of the Land. The Crafters are Blacksmith, Carpenter, Armorer, Goldsmith, Alchemist, Weaver, Culinarian, and Leatherworker. Each one deals in different things, such as the Blacksmith in weaponry and the Armorer in armor. Obviously your Weaver would make your magic gear, because magic is usually cloth oriented. So it's best to level them all up together, but recently Final Fantasy has made things a lot easier with the crafting system, so it's not as big of a deal if you don't level them all up together. Your gathering classes are the miner, the botanist, and the fisher. Each of these are exactly what they sound like and do exactly what the name does. Miner is your mining ores, mining sands, stuff like that. Your botanist mines your trees, your branches, your sap, your ingredients, and the fisher fishes fish. And that's pretty much all the classes. That covers all your Disciples of War, Magic, Hand, and Land. If you have any questions or any suggestions, put your comments in the comment section. Thanks for watching.